the downside of like usage is, again, it's not so predictable, because suddenly, instead of people paying annually in advance a certain volume of a subscription fee, suddenly they can use it whenever they want, and it can be seasonal driven, it can be a lot of things. It's not so super predictable anymore. So how can we do that? So there's a few metrics to look at. FMR is forecasted monthly recurring revenue. That is coming from your usage-based components in your pricing. And you have EMR on the right, which is estimated recurring revenue. And then estimated monthly recurring revenue is kind of your contracted monthly recurring revenue and forecasted monthly recurring revenue. So customer estimates they're going to use 2,000 pieces per month. It is not a commitment. It is just a number your customer can tell you. And it's good to have that conversation, because then you also know where they're at in terms of value. So if you sign a new deal and they're talking about this, tell the customer, like, it's not a commitment. We need kind of an estimation for us. And kind of, if you have that forecasted monthly recurring revenue together with the contracted coming from the actual recurring subscription fees that are always going to be there, you bring it to an estimated monthly recurring revenue. And that is kind of the booking-based equivalent of CMR, but it includes the forecasted revenue. And then you see like the booking that is triggered from this in a subscription management system is those two together. And then you have the subscription that actually generates the monthly recurring revenue coming from the subscription recurring fees. And you have the usage MRR that is going to come as soon as the kind of usage is used. And then revenue recognition can happen at the invoice, or if you're super fancy, at the moment of subscription as well. Then if you want to forecast a bit more, one other key ingredient that helps is historic data. You don't have that on day one, so it's just not possible. But you will pick up trends in the actual usage. So, you will see peaks. You will see after a year of using, you see, okay, March is heavy on usage, June is heavy on usage. Why is that? And can we do that in packaging and pricing? Just review it. There's another step in setting up your pricing. Like if you will get those trends, you will see that, and you will see like based on seasons, based on things that happen in a year. So for instance, for us, our indexation feature is mostly used in January, right? If we would make that a usage-based thing, it would be super boring in February to December. And then in January, suddenly everybody would use it. Because indexation is, for many companies, used in the beginning of the year. So historic data will help you forecast your usage revenue. So if you combine kind of the trends you see from, for instance, Younium, you will see like, okay, based on the committed contract you will have, there's usage historically that will roughly look like this. Combining that with the EMR, you have a very good understanding of what your revenue will look like. Because the downside of like, we finally managed that transition from like licenses to subscription services. So we have predictability in our revenue, and then we go to usage and kill that again. So these are kind of ways you can still predict your revenue. Super important.